It's that time again. Now I know we've had a little bit of a gap between the last video and this one, and I kind of left you on a cliff, and actually no, I left you on an island, and but I'm back now, feeling good, ready to dive into the rest of Revelation here. We're going to be covering chapters 4, 5, and 6. If you remember, John is on the island of Patmos, and Christ is there with him, using him to write letters to these churches. We finished the letters, so we're going to see what happens now with those two individuals on the island as soon as John gets done writing what Christ is telling him to write. But before we jump into those chapters, how you doing, bro? My brother. I know it's a battle out there, my guy. And I hope you're not fatigued. I hope you've had some victories. I hope you're turning your demons into history. Man, I pray for you guys, man. I pull for you guys. I send out my highest vibrations out to you men and those around you and your families. Because it's a wild time. It's a wild time. This is quite the age to be a human being, I'll tell you what. A lot of stuff to trip over. And what do I always say? Don't trip. Don't worry. Always telling you guys that. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Getting that sun. Getting that fresh air. And this is just a glimpse, man. I'm always out. Always out. And before I started these videos, I was really out, man. I was really out. I'd find the deepest parts of the woods, go and just listen, man. Meditate in nature, baby. Why do we do that? Because that's warrior culture, baby. Warrior culture, baby. Culture, baby. It's what we do. It's a part of us. Don't ever let anyone take your warrior spirit. Because we need that. We need that, bros. We need that. There's a lot going on in the news that I really want to talk to you guys about, but I gotta stay on track here. And we really gotta get through these chapters of this book, because I think it's gonna get you some culture. So without further ado, let's do it. Without further ado, let's do it. Alright. If you follow me along. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't think so. You guys like that? Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. You know what? Maybe I can set this up right here. No, we'll stay the way we've been doing it. Just like this. Alright. So here we go. Wait for that helicopter to pass. And we on our way, bros. Christ and John on the island. If you want to know the content of the letters, go back and watch my previous videos. These letters were designed to let the angels of the 7 churches know that basically Christ is about to take John, because John's body is important. There's stuff going on in John's body, so Christ is also basically telling John's body, I'm coming in, and we're going to be making all things new. So, chapter 4. So this is John saying, after this I looked, and there before me was a door standing open in heaven. We'll stop right off the bat, because we know in the 6th letter that he wrote, which is to the mind's eye chakra, where Christ has him write, see, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. So now he's having a vision in his mind's eye. You know, when he says that, and there before me was a door standing open in heaven, he's still on the island, but in his mind, all he can see is this door. His eyes are completely shut, but his mind's eye is open. And the voice I had first heard speaking to me like a trumpet said, come up here, and I will show you what must take place after this. At once I was in the Spirit, and there before me was a throne in heaven with someone sitting on it. At once I was in the Spirit. What's that? There's a lot that's going on in that one sentence. He's going up. It's an abduction. Let that sit with you. And what does he see when he gets up there? He sees a throne. In heaven with someone sitting on it. And the one who sat there had the appearance of jasper and ruby. A rainbow that shone like an emerald encircled the throne. Now, that rainbow is going to be important, because that rainbow encircling the throne, we will later find out what that rainbow is. It's a rainbow, but it's more than a rainbow. Surrounding the throne were 24 other thrones, and seated on them were 24 elders. So if you look, I kind of drew a little bit of an outline. It's not amazing, but there's 24 dots all around, throne in the middle, and we got the rainbow encircling. Now this rainbow should actually be around these 1, 2s, 3s, and 4s, and I'll tell you what those 1, 2s, 3s, and 4s is. But the 24 thrones surrounding is representative of time. You know, we go by like a 12-hour clock. Military uses 24 hours. And 24-hour clocks work just as well, in all honesty. So the 24 elders, they were dressed in white and had crowns of gold on their heads. From the throne came flashes of lightning, rumblings, and peals of thunder. Sounds like a ship. Spaceship. In front of the throne, 7 lamps were blazing. See, I drew them. These are the 7 lamps. The 7 spirits of God that sit in front of the throne. These are the 7 spirits of God. Also in front of the throne, there was what looked like a sea of glass, clear as crystal. Now this is a description of the floor. Nothing more. In the center, around the throne, were 4 living creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they were covered with eyes, in front and in back. Now these 4 living creatures, they are the 4 lower bodies. Remember, there's 7 chakras. And the 4 lower ones, from the heart down to your root, those are the lower body chakras. And then your other heavenly upper body chakras are 1, 2, 3. And these 4 living creatures, they're pretty much the overseers of the lower bodies. The first living creature was like a lion. The second was like an ox. The third had a face like a man. The fourth was like a flying eagle. Each of the 4 living creatures had 6 wings and was covered with eyes all around, even under its wings. Day and night they never stopped saying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come." We might go back to this. I don't know if I need it. I want to make sure you saw those 7 blazing lampstands too. Now, why are they covered in eyes? I won't talk about the wings, and it's specific about having 6 wings and all that, but the eyes are the important focus here. And it's because in our lower bodies, everything is seen, bro. Everything is seen, my guy. You aren't ever out of the sight of God. You may think that you are, you may think that you're sly, you may think that even disbelief gets you out, but no, man, it's all recorded. Whenever the living creatures give glory, honor, and thanks to him who sits on the throne and who lives forever and ever, the 24 elders fall down before him who sits on the throne and worship him who lives forever and ever. They lay their crowns before the throne and say, before I get to the quote, we'll just talk about that, the 24 elders and the 4 living creatures, that whenever the living creatures give glory, honor, and thanks, the elders bow down. And the person who sits on the throne changes, right? It was the Father, then it was Christ, and Christ will follow the same path. and put another on the throne. So what do they say? They say, "You are worthy, our Lord and God, to receive glory and honor and power," right? Because this is Christ's message when he's writing to the 7 churches, saying, "I'm giving out my authority. This is how the Father did it with me, and now this is how I'm going to do it for another individual. I'm dishing out all the authority. For you created all things, and by your will they were created and have their being." Chapter 4, easy, simple, baby. I like to keep things in the realm of simplicity. You know, getting so much stuff you don't know what to do with. It ain't about that. You would be so surprised if you knew how little you actually need to, 1, be healthy, and 2, to be happy your time here. So chapter 5. Then I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll with writing on both sides and sealed with 7 seals. This is John's scroll about his life. And Christ sealed it through his ministry when he was down on earth, when he was interacting with John. Of course, John didn't know this, but Christ was sealing him up so that when John gets to this position where he's at, no one will be able to open it, because they'll need Christ to open it. And I saw a mighty angel proclaiming in a loud voice, "Who is worthy to break the seals and open the scroll?" Now, I think that this is a scene that is almost as if the angel is like, what is this unopenable scroll? Who can open this? Someone better open this. You know, because we all got our scrolls. And when we get up there, those scrolls are open, and it's all about our life. But John's is sealed, and it needs to get open. So this angel is basically saying like, yo, what is going on here? This needs to get opened ASAP. Also, because John, what's his position right now? He's up in the ship, and he's laying on a table. And he kind of, because he can see the scene, he realizes that even if those seals don't get open, he's going to be stuck there. He's going to be stuck to that table for eternity. So even he wants to get someone to open those seals up too. Who is worthy to break the seals and open the scroll? But no one in heaven or on earth or under the earth could open the scroll or even look inside it. I wept and wept because no one was found who was worthy to open the scroll or look inside. Why was he weeping and weeping? Because he was in the spirit. He was up there where no human should really be, in the flesh and also in the spirit. And so he realizes he could possibly be strapped to this table for eternity if it's not open. Then one of the elders said to me, "Do not weep. See, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has triumphed. He is able to open the scroll and its 7 seals." This was also a test for John too. Christ was also testing John. It's possible that near the end of the disciples all falling off, and John being the last one, that John might have had some doubt if Christ was really coming back for him. And he does show up, because that's what Christ does for us. Then I saw a lamb, looking as if it had been slain. Standing at the center of the throne, encircled by the 4 living creatures and the elders. The Lamb had 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent out into all the earth. Okay, so this was creation when God created the earth and the heavens. He sent out his 7 spirits into the earth. Now, we see the Lamb appear up in the ship. This is Christ when he gets there, because he was down on earth, and during his ministry, he collected those 7 spirits. Those are now that the Lamb is on the ship, and he's got 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God. These are the 7 spirits returning now. He went and took the scroll from the right hand of him who sat on the throne. Now, going up to the throne, there is another setup that isn't mentioned when John's first describing what heaven looks like. There's an altar in front of the throne that isn't mentioned there, but it's mentioned later, and I'm just going to mention it now. There's an altar, a golden altar in front of the throne. I didn't even draw it on my little picture, just because it's not mentioned and it's for a particular reason. So the Lamb takes the scroll. And when he had taken it, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb. Each one had a harp, and they were holding golden bowls full of incense, which are the prayers of God's people. And they sang a new song. So now, the elders and the 4 living creatures, they're no longer bowing before the throne, they're bowing before the Lamb. Now the Lamb is on the throne, but their intention and their direction is on the Lamb. And the song goes like this: You are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, because you were slain, and with your blood you purchased for God persons from every tribe and language and people and nation. You have made them to be a kingdom and priests to serve our God, and they will reign on earth. Then I looked and heard the voice of many angels, numbering thousands upon thousands and 10,000 times 10,000. They encircled the throne and the living creatures and the elders. In a loud voice they were saying, so this is the rainbow. This is where the voice is coming from. This is the pool of the essence of angels. Angels are light. And there's 7 colors to a rainbow. 7 different essences that can make up an angel. What were they saying? They were saying, worthy is the Lamb who is slain to receive power and wealth and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and praise. I'm going to read that one more time because it's poetry. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain to receive power and wealth and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and praise. You usually know when angels are talking because it'll be poetic. Then I heard every creature in heaven and on earth and under the earth and on the sea and all that is in them saying, to him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb be praise and honor and glory and power forever and ever. Now this is John hearing heavenly whispers, which is quite an eye-opening experience. They're mysteries. It's mysterious to have your mind open to heaven and be able to hear the language of these angels. The four living creatures said Amen, and the elders fell down and worshiped. So we see the transfer of power from the Father to Christ. That was a revelation of how Christ received his power. But it doesn't stop there, because like I said, Christ is still in the process of doing the same thing that his Father did to give to another individual. Chapter 6. So this is where we really start getting into some pretty creative stuff, right? Because John's seals are about to be opened. Remember, he's up in the ship on the table, and also John is still, because that's happening in his mind, while John and Christ are about to go through this chakra opening experience together. Now, whether he made it up to the ship in the flesh is up for you to decide. I say he did, but at this point he's on the island still, because his mind is up in the ship. And he's about to get work done on him by the Master. Chapter 6. I watched as the Lamb opened the first of 7 seals. Alright, so this is the root chakra. Then I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder, "Come," right? Remember, because these are the overseers of the lower bodies. I looked, and there before me was a white horse. Its rider held a bow, and he was given a crown, and he rode out on conquest, out as a conqueror bent on conquest. So who is this guy? Some have said it's Christ, some have said it's Archangel Michael. Who it is, it's the one who was victorious in the first letter, right? The letter got to the angel. And so once the lower chakra is open, we kind of see the ending, because the reward, remember, was for the first root chakra, I will give the right to eat from the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God. So this conqueror, that's why he's so stacked. This is the quest for the Holy Grail. So they sent their best guy, the one who was victorious, to go and find the tree of life. And he does, and now he is the heavenly warrior. When the Lamb opened the second seal, I heard a second living creature say, "Come." Then another horse came out, a fiery red one. Its rider was given power to take peace from the earth and to make people kill each other. To him was given a large sword. Now remember in the second letter, because this individual on this fiery red horse is the one who is victorious in the second church. In the second letter, whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. The one who is victorious will not be hurt at all by the second death. Why? Because he is the second death. When the Lamb opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a black horse. Its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. Then I heard what sounded like a voice among the four living creatures saying, 2 pounds of wheat for a day's wages, and 6 pounds of barley for a day's wages, and do not damage the oil and the wine. This living creature was the one with the face of the man. I'm going to go on record right now and say I think this is Paul. I think he was a victor in the third church. So whoever is victorious in the third church, I will give him some of the hidden manna. What happens when you eat hidden manna? Well, then you get to be the one to decide which foods to eat for the people, which foods to give the people, and how much they cost. You get to put the cost on the food too. Because remember, we're the third seal. That's the solar plexus. That's concerning matters of the stomach. And like I said, a lot of people, man, their gods are their stomach. When the Lamb opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades was following close behind him. They were given power over a fourth of the earth to kill by the sword, famine, and plague, and by the wild beasts of the earth. So these are two individuals. We have Death and Hades. What goes to the victors in the fourth letter? In the fourth letter, right? We have two individuals, Death and Hades. In the fourth letters, the ones who are victorious, what do they get? Well, there's actually two things that they get. Authority over nations. That one will rule them with an iron scepter and dash them to pieces like pottery. Death. Just as I have received authority from my Father. I will also give that one the morning star. This is where Hades comes in, following close behind Death. Because what is the morning star? The morning star is a ship. So those are the four lower bodies. You'll notice that when he opens the fifth seal, there's no more of the four creatures saying, and there's not going to be any more horses or anything. The fifth one is different because we're moving from the lower bodies up into the higher planes. And the fifth seal is really important because this is concerning I'll read it. When he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain because of the word of God and the testimony they had maintained. They called out in a loud voice, "How long, sovereign Lord, holy and true, until you judge the inhabitants of the earth and avenge our blood?" Then each of them was given a white robe, and they were told to wait a little longer until the full number of their fellow servants, their brothers and sisters, were killed just as they had been. So, this church is, well, in the church that received the fifth letter, they had the reputation of being alive, but they're dead, and they don't know they're dead, right? These are spirits who died for the cause of Christ, but they don't know that they're dead, and they have to wake up. So remember from the letter, here's a hot take from the letter. They will walk with me dressed in white, for they are worthy. These were the spirits who have not soiled their clothes. The one who is victorious will, like them, be dressed in white. So this is the victory. This is why they get these white robes. Now that number that's talking about, because they were told that they have to wait until the number grows. As each individual wakes up, that number grows. And there's a strategy here, because once all of them are woken up and have their white robes, they're going to show up later in the books, and they're going to show up at a clutch moment. That's why it's important for the fifth church to figure it out. I watched as he opened the sixth seal. Now keep in mind, this is different language than when the other seals were opened. It just said, the Lamb opened the third seal, when the Lamb opened the fourth seal, when he opened the fifth seal. But here with the sixth seal, John's specifically saying, I watched as he opened the sixth seal, because it's in the mind's eye. There was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red, and the stars in the sky fell to earth, as figs drop from a fig tree when shaken by a strong wind. The heavens receded like a scroll being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. So why does there have to be this earthquake? Well, what is being described is somewhat the beginning of the collapse, so that the New Jerusalem can come down. Because remember, in the sixth letter, it is described that the ones who are victorious will have their names written. I'll read it directly. I will write on them the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the New Jerusalem, which is coming down out of heaven from my God. And I will also write on them my new name. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. And before that, they will also, the one who is victorious, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. This is going to be addressing the apostles. Because in the New Jerusalem, and we'll see, we'll cover it when we get there. But basically what's going on in John's mind's eye is he's seeing this darkness and this, the moon turning blood red, stars falling from the sky, the heavens receding, scroll being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place so that the new Jerusalem can come down. Then the kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich and the mighty, and everyone else, both slave and free, hid in caves and among the rocks of the mountains. They called to the mountains and the rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who can withstand it? Who can withstand seeing this new Jerusalem, the new place that we're going to live in with Christ, come down from earth?" Imagine that. I will point you out into the ocean and out into the sky. And imagine seeing out there the proportions of New Jerusalem coming out of the sky. You think any of these people would be able to withstand it? Nada, brother. Nada, papi. Nada. Fathers and sons, man, you guys need to get on your A game. Now, we're not going to get into chapter 7, but this isn't the end of the opening of the 6th chakra, the 6th seal. We're still in it, and we actually stay in this chakra for a whole nother chapter before the 7th seal is open. So keep that in mind. And we're going to stop there for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to get up, we're going to stretch, we're going to look out to the sea. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, bright, shining nature, baby. All the beautiful people, God's creation, man. Out here enjoying it. Don't forget, warrior culture, baby. Warrior culture. It's so important. Because, my bros, we're going to be chilling together. There ain't going to be no more of this vying with each other. This vying with your brother. This vying with your father, your mother, your sister, strangers on the internet. What's up with that? Why are you arguing with strangers on the internet? Why are you putting any energy at all into matters on the internet? That's not real life, bro. That's not real life. And it is ironic that I'm speaking to you from the internet, because I walk around here all day, all over the planet. Well, actually mostly over the country. And people don't connect like they used to. You think I want to share this knowledge with people individually? Sure, absolutely. But everyone's so fearful of each other individually. I should clarify, not everyone. See, we got to be careful with our language. Not everyone, but there's a lot of people that just don't want to hear it, and they're hermiting. And I can't reach everyone, so I got to do it this way. Because saving just a few isn't enough. I want the whole bunch, baby. I'm a soul baby. Soul baby. It's in my heart, man. It's in my heart. It's inside of me. You can't extinguish it. You can't deny it. You can't cover it. I'm a soul baby. Physical exercise, I hope you're getting your 20 minutes a day, and if you've been getting your 20 minutes a day for a while, I hope you found a way to kind of boost it up. You know, get your weight up. Not only get your weight up, get your skills up. God loves a man with skills and talents. When I say skills and talents, put them in the realm of either art, creating something, producing something. And if that's not your alley, then do martial arts. That's everybody's alley. That's everybody's alley. I don't care who you are. It's easy as ones and twos. Bada bing, bada boom. Shadow boxing. That's all I have for today. I love you all. I love you animals. I love you creatures of the sea and creatures of the air. Don't trip. Don't worry. My brother, your burdens are easy to carry. I'm here to help you. I'll talk to you guys later.